We'll get over to you shortly there, Warwick, but just to let the folks know, V6 Wingless Sprints are a sprint car chassis without the wing on top, and they have a, I think it's a 4.2 or 3.8 litre Holden motor in them, so it's a gentleman's class, but they pick up a fair bit of speed, and they're certainly best when they've got plenty of cars on the track. So Warwick, we'll hand it over to you, mate, and another good field.
Yes, thanks, Craig. Yes, there are Ruapuna Rumbles coming up for these, and someone tells me they've got about 28 of them heading here. So later on in the season.
Big number.
That's a big number. But we'll look at the Cromwell cars at the front. The 88 with a pink on it. That's how I have to tell them anyway, because there's a 68 with a pink and an 86 with orange. That's the two Shearing boys. But this is the Luke Shearing on the front with Sophie Wills, who put up an exciting battle here last time. She visited us, and they're away racing, and nothing much between these two as they come through. It'll be Luke Shearing gets to the front from Sophie Wills, then it's Adam Farrar from Kane Jemmett and Kirk Hawkins, and then we go back to the 78 of Mark Morris, and the first half dozen of them sort themselves out, and Kirk Hawkins has gone around, and someone slid in there, and that might have been Charlene Jemmett, I think. But they look like they've all got themselves underway. Hopefully not too much damage. Now down this end, the orange car of Jake Shearing swings himself round, and he falls on the track, and that may well bring out an orange. He hasn't managed to get that restarted.
Well, our support classes tonight are trying to keep the program going, aren't they, Warwick? And just a bit slick for a couple of those cars. It was our V6 Wingless Sprint driver of the 11C, Kirk Hawkins, getting it all wrong going into turns 3 and 4. And as you picked, Charlene Jemmett comes sliding in, nowhere to go, but they both managed to carry on. So these guys will get a restart very shortly, and we'll see how the Cromwell crew perform in this next race.
Well, they're bringing them back into line, double stacking them. So Shearing and Wills, Farrar and Kane Jemmett, Morris and Andrew Gregg, Phillips and Andrew Marker. And we go back to the, I think it's the 81 Blair Smith sitting in there, and I've lost them as they go around, but we'll catch them as they come through. And once again, it's the Shearing car that moves out to the front. Luke Shearing takes the early lead from Sophie Wills with Adam Farrar and Kane Jemmett in the first 4. The battle between the Gregg cars, 78. Mark Morris might be just ahead of Andrew Gregg as they go through that turn. There's that sneaky car coming around the top side. Andrew Marker putting some early pressure on, but it's still Luke Shearing from Wills. Adam Farrar right up there on her tail as they go into that turn, although she pulled out a little bit of space over him. Luke Shearing, Wills, Adam Farrar, there's Mark Morris just getting in front of Kane Jemmett, and Macca moving along in the 51, tags on behind him. Andrew Gregg trying to catch up, then it's Matthew Phillips. We've got Christopher Gray that's spun around here. You can rejoin well down the track. So in behind Phillips is Kirk Hawkins and Jake Shearing. But it is still Luke Shearing out in front. Made a wee break away from the rest of the field. Sophie Wills still driving a good line, holding that second spot from Adam Farrar in the 7 car. Mark Morris, well, he's looking for a run up the inside, and he slid across the face of Farrar, and he may well have picked up that 3rd spot as they come down. Now Andrew Marker, he's decided to look up a little bit higher. They need to keep their foot up and keep the momentum going. He slots in behind Adam Farrar and looks for a run down the inside, and he makes that one pay, and he moves up one. Still Luke Shearing out in front. He's making the rest of them really play catch up. Now Sophie Wills drifted a wee bit wide, and Mark Morris moved up the inside. He goes to that 2nd position from Wills. Andrew Marker in that 4th spot as they come down. He closes up on Sophie Wills and looks for a run down the inside. Wills has drifted out far too wide and lets Marker go through. Just look across the far side, we see the white flags coming out for the Luke Shearing, the 68 Cromwell car. He goes down the warehouse cars back straight for the last time, swings it into the prison bed, drifts up high, right up against the wall and powers it down the straight.
Power in the 7 from 9, Kirk Hawkins, car 11 from 10, Sophie Wills in the 47 from 11, Kane Jemmett, car 71 from 12, and Luke Shearing, car 68 rather, from grid number 14. This is Wingless Sprint Time, brought to us by Oil Change Kingsford Royal Service, 12 Herwood Road. For a professional oil change, no appointment required.
So Warwick, we might talk about the B main formats a bit after this race, but in the meantime, mate, we'll cross over to you for the next instalment of V6 Wingless Sprint Racing.
Well, it's Jake Shearing, the blue with the orange on it, on the front this time with 57 of Charlene Jemmett. Then Blair Smith, another Cromwell car, sits on the outside. Just quietly moving around. Matthew Phillips on the inside of Blair Smith as they pick up the pace, and this time it's the other Shearing. Jake Shearing out in front from Blair Smith. Charlene Jemmett's holding that third position, but someone's looking to sneak down the inside. But up on the top side, the 51 of Andrew Marker's made the big move. He's up into that third spot already. So it's Jake Shearing from Blair Smith, Andrew Marker. Then Matthew Phillips is trying to round up Charlene Jemmett. Oh, we got a big one over there. There's about two of them. That's massive. Now stay back from the fence, you kids, until the crash crew get there. There's a nasty one there. That's the pink car of Luke Shearing involved in that one, and I think that's one of those Greg machines as well that went further on there. That was a particularly nasty crash.
Yeah, Luke Shearing immediately out of that car, and good to see him walking away. Andrew Gregg, that was a spectacular crash, and certainly a lot of serious thoughts going your way just at the moment. Let's give the crash crew a moment to make sure he's okay. Luke Shearing just walking quietly off to the ref's box, and man, that was a big accident and a big impact. So
yeah, certainly Andrew Gregg's gone a long way from the first point of contact. There's bits and pieces stuck in the track that the crew will have to sort out. Some fluid leaking from the car underneath. Just the main concern is to check Andrew out, because that was a fairly big tumble.
Well, I tell you what, we'll just give those boys a moment. We did just say that. I know Amanda Gregg will be very concerned about her husband over there. She's...
well, he's talking, he's waving, he's got his arms up, he's trying to undo his belts and stuff. That's not to mean, doesn't mean to say that he is not knocked around or hurt, but he is conscious and talking, Amanda, so that's a good point.
Wow. Wow, and we said this was a gentleman class of racing, but it all happens so quickly when it goes wrong, and that was probably one of the biggest crashes I've seen in a V6 wingless sprint, and that car just kept tumbling and tumbling, and that was a heck of a ride. But there he is, folks, Andrew Gregg. Give him a clap. And putting a show on here tonight, and taking his helmet off, getting a bit of fresh air, and
thumbs up, boys. He's given us the thumbs up.
Oh, fantastic news, you know.
Climbing out of the car, but certainly a lot of front end damage on that one. And yes, you can see he's been well and truly shaken around.
Well, I tell you what, that might be crash of the week, AJ. And
I'd say so.
Listen, we have got some official results here, folks, of the top 16 for the sprint car title, and we want to just go through that one more time, and we're just allowing Andrew's car to be cleaned up there and brought to the infield. AJ, what have we got to report here? Yeah,
look, unfortunately, just after the last lot we provided, there was a change that we weren't told of, but nevertheless, Jonathan Allard on 98, Daniel Thomas on 92, Matthew Levisage on 91, as is Stephen Taylor. Joel Myers on 88, Michael Pickens 87, and Jamie McDonald on 84. Matt Honeywell on 81, and tied up on 80 points, we've got Connor Rangi, Dean Cooper, Jamie Duff, Rodney Wood, Dean Brindle. On 78, Steve Duff. The 7T of Jaden Dodge, and Max Guilford just sneaks in on 76 points. So, look, I do apologise for any confusion on that one, but I think that we've got the right stuff given to us now.
Yeah, good stuff, AJ. And just so you're aware, folks, Jonathan Allard, because he got the most points, I believe he will start in grid 1. Oh, he can choose either 1 or 2, and then it'll go down in order of qualifying points. So lots of action happening here tonight, folks, and certainly the young kids probably haven't experienced something like that for a wee while. Watching a car tumbling that close to the fence, and I'm sure there's a lot of damage on that 75 Lincoln Mowers car, AJ.
Yeah, it had some momentum, didn't it? Just kept on bouncing and bouncing along. And Andrew, well, he's passionate about the Wingless V6 racing, and his wife Amanda, you know, they're a couple of real great stalwarts of the class. And yeah, let's just hope that some of that bouncing didn't actually cause too much grief on it. It was sort of end to end as opposed to side at the end of it. But boy, it certainly gave the crowd in the Value Cars Warehouse Grandstand one heck of a view.
Yeah, and Luke Shearing scarpered out of that car quicker than anybody's business. So just a wee fella in the frame. So good to see him get out of that. And I think what happened was the 3 cars compressed, and one of the right rear tyres rode over a left rear tyre, and all of a sudden they're tumbling through the air at a high, not a rate of knots, I should say. So the 75C looking a little worse for wear there, but no doubt the team will get that fixed up.
Well, it's great testament to the safety gear that these guys have in those vehicles, because that was a fairly big, hard tumble, and for Andrew to climb out of there and give us the thumbs up, that was a pretty good going. No doubt he will be sore tonight and tomorrow, because those belts and everything and arm restraints, they all do their job and pull you in tight. Of Blair Smith, it looks like from here Andrew Marker will be in behind. One high, one low. Looks like they'll get another lap. It'll be Andrew Marker in behind, and I'm picking that Charlene Jemmett in the 57 on the outside of her. Next row back, I think that's the 5 car of Matthew Phillips, and then the sister car to Andrews, or one of the sister cars, the 78, driven by Mark Morris, then Kirk Hawkins in the 11, Adam Farrar in the 7, 47 from Cromwell, Sophie Wills, and the 71. Christchurch, the young lad, well, he's going to try and catch up to mum. That's Kane Jemmett. So racing they go. And Jake Shearing leads them away from Blair Smith. Andrew Marker holds that 3rd spot from Matthew Phillips. Kirk Hawkins trying to get on the inside of Charlene Jemmett, and they sort of rubbed across one another there, and he moves up 1. Mark Morris now on the outside as well. Sophie Wills just loses it. It's a little bit out of shape. She gets herself back on the track. But it's the Jake Shearing that's stolen a march on the rest of the field. Tough mate. Blair Smith still holding on to that 2nd spot. They've got the Macca from the track here, chasing him down hard. 2 wide with Matthew Phillips, and Kirk Hawkins trying to get up the inside as they go down the Warehouse Cars straight into the prison turn. Kirk Hawkins just edges forward a little bit more, and he might get that 4th position. But Jake Shearing, he's going to say, well, you've got to chase me. Blair Smith just sitting in that 2nd position with Andrew Marker in behind. Now he's trying to cut the corner up and shorten it to see if he can come underneath. Oh, there's Mark Morris, struck a problem. He's come to the infield. He'll rejoin at the tail of the field. So Shearing, Smith, Marker. Then we go back to Kirk Hawkins and the 5 of Matthew Phillips. Sophie Wills has broken the shackles of the rest of them from Charlene Jemmett, Adam Farrar, Mark Morris, and Kane Jemmett. Now the challenge is coming for second. He's pushed Blair Smith out. And Andrew Marker moves up one into that second position. Kirk Hawkins has got that fourth spot in there from the fifth of Matthew Phillips as they swing on round and click another lap off. But this young man, Jake Shearing, has thrown the gauntlet down to the rest of the field. Andrew Marker's playing catch up, but he's going to run out of laps because the white flag comes out. Jake Shearing now. Andrew Marker in that second position. Blair Smith still hanging on there. Kirk Hawkins in the Hayden car can't bring him down. There's Matt Phillips going through. But the win for the Wingless Sprint second heat will go to Jake Shearing from Cromwell from Andrew Marker. Blair Smith, the Cromwell car, comes home in that second position from the 11 of Kirk Hawkins and 5 Matthew Phillips. Sophie Wills was the next one in from Mark Morris, Charlene Jemmett, Adam Farrar and Kane Jemmett. So while the Shearings take home one beaten up car, the other one matches it by taking the win in the second heat for the Wingless Sprints.
Yeah, contrasting fortunes, as you say, Warwick, and those Shearing boys certainly know how to race the V6 Wingless Sprints. So Heartbreak Hotel on one side and off 3, Mark Morris and 78C. Sophie Wills, good performance by her tonight in the 47T car off 4. Kirk Hawkins off 5. Luke Shearing, I'm not sure if he got it going or not, but maybe he did. 68T off 6.
Yeah, he's there.
5C is Matt Phillips, and 81T is Blair Smith. Off position number 9, Adam Farrar. Grid 10, Kane Jemmett. 11 is Charlene Jemmett, and off 13, Chris Gray.
Yeah, that's that. So good work by the Shearing team to get Luke Shearing's car back out. Great to see. So as they come round, there's the other one. It's Jake on the front row. From Andrew Marker, Mark Morris, Sophie Wills. Kirk Hawkins on that third row. So they come round for the start for the Wingless Sprint feature tonight, and underway we go. We look into this first turn, a couple of the heavy hitters in there, and it's going to be Jake Shearing that comes out of there first, ahead of Andrew Marker. And then we've got Mark Morris in the 78 on the inside, and the 47 is Sophie Wills this round there, and there's about 3 cars gone round. Andrew Marker is one of them. He started that lot, and then it looks like it might be Chris Gray is one of the other ones at the tail of the field, and I cannot pick the other car. It's not Chris Gray because he's just gone past me. Might have been one of the other Shearing cars there that has spun up.
Oh, what a heck of a night for those boys, and it's certainly been a big adventure for them. And
well, Andrew Marker went round and the other 2 were taking evasive action, so they came together quietly. Let's hope that they're underway. There's one of them moved pretty quickly. Mark Morris moved into that second grid. Oh, we've gone around again. Oh, it's Kirk Hawkins, and he's decided the setup's not good enough there, so he's going to park it. He's not happy at all.
Oh, Kirk Hawkins, he's another entertainer here at Ruapuna for sure.
Right, take 2. Sophie Wills moving through to the front of the grid now. Of course, Andrew Marker will have to do all the work from the back, since he was the prime cause of that stoppage. So they've let them go pretty quickly with the orange off and green on. And it is that Jake Shearing that's got the early lead there. In behind is Mark Morris, but the 47 of Sophie Wills belts down the outside, and coming through from there, the back of the grid was Luke Shearing. He's moved up into the first four as well. So it's Jake Shearing leading them in round the town bend from Mark Morris. Luke Shearing in the 68 has got the third spot, just ahead of Sophie Wills in the 47. In behind Sophie Wills, I think it's could be Matt Phillips as they come down there. Now young Shearing is going to have a go at Mark Morris. So Jake Shearing's got a comfortable lead there. Mark Morris sitting in that second spot, which Sophie Wills has gone to third as Luke Shearing missed that opportunity. Matthew Phillips is the next one in there as they go round, and then the other car will be the Blair Smith, the Cromwell car on the track. But they're going to have to do some work to pick up this 86 of Jake Shearing. Luke in the 68's looking to cut it pretty tight down there and try and get in on Sophie Wills. While Mark Morris holds that second position. The third's the one. Now Luke Shearing comes on the inside of Sophie Wills. He pushes her up a wee bit high and he moves up to that third spot. We've got a couple of them around again. The 7, Adam Farrar, and the 51 of Andrew Marker once again comes to a halt. So Marker gets himself underway.
I tell you what, Warwick, these sprint car boys will be watching with interest how this slick track is performing at the moment, and we've indicated it's going to be a tough, tight final coming up, and those sprint car drivers will bolt those cars down as tight as they can and hopefully maintain their momentum. So Andrew Marker going to tack on to the end of the field here. He'll have to be quick.
Yeah, so on the front it's the 86 of Jake Shearing with the 78 of Mark Morris. And on the second row we go back to Luke Shearing. And I think outside Luke is Sophie Wills. So these Cromwell boys are giving our locals a bit of a hurry up here. On the third row, down on the inside, if I pick him up, it will be the 5 car of Matthew Phillips with another Cromwell car, the 86 of Blair Smith on the outside. So we'll see who gets the better of these front 3 rows anyway, as the green is dropped again. And Jake Shearing comes round to that point, and Luke Shearing, he's in there with him, so it's the Shearings 1 and 2. Mark Morris has dropped back to that third position. Oh, there's one riding up on top of them. Oh, it's Ducks and Drakes down there. Lucky we didn't get a stoppage, but Andrew Marcus, he spun up twice and he started from the rear. Oh, there's another one around, and Mark Morris comes in there as well, and that'll be Blair Smith, I think, caught up in that one too.
Well, I tell you what, folks, I think we might just about be calling that race. It's getting very treacherous on the inside there, and I can see the checkered flag coming out now, folks. So that'll be the end of the feature race for the V6 wingless sprints. Certainly something to learn for those sprint car drivers. And
it'll be 86, Jake Shearing taking the win from Luke Shearing when they hang the checkered out. Well, they're going to do, they want it first equal. I suppose that's fair enough. And then it might be, well, it could be Sophie Wills from Andrew Marker. They think they're going to get a restart, do they? Well done, boys. That's an indication of what these sprinters are going to have to look at. 30 laps on this track is it's going to be interesting, lads. Yeah,
I think you're right there, and let's give it up for the Shearing boys. They've both entertained us tonight all the way from Cromwell. Congratulations to you both, and thanks for making the big trip to Ruapuna Speedway.